your indicator is going to be looking at daily levels. So every single daily candle. And it's going to be calculating levels based off of that. If you've got the weekly selected like this one, then it's going to be looking at the weekly levels. So every single weekly candle. So what is the indicator telling you? When you open up the chart and you have the indicator on it, once the candle opens, a new daily candle opens, based on these previous calculations that it does, based off of every single daily candle that it can calculate, it's going to give you levels based on the manipulation and distribution. What does that mean? So when you're looking at a daily candle, it's going to look something like this. So you've got your hourly chart, that's where we are right now, but the indicator itself is looking at the daily chart. It's looking at every single candle, and let's say this is a bullish candle that closed upwards, right? This is going to be the open level, and then below the open level, the wick is the manipulation level, and then the top of the candle is going to be the distribution level. That's what you'll see on the chart if you have the daily selected. See right here? This can be basically represented as either a bullish or a bearish candle based on like every single candle that your TradingView chart has access to. Okay? That makes sense? So what do you see? Here in the middle, this is your open, where your daily chart open. And then you've got your wicks right here. And then the distribution level is going to be right here. And then you can also, this would be for the bearish case, if you want to short. And then if you want to long, it's going to be the same thing. Just the open level is going to be here, and you're going to be looking at the bullish case, right? Now we can see how these levels work every single day just by clicking this one little button, the remove previous drawings. If you unclick it, you can see how it reacted every single day before. You can look at all the past data, and up here in the top right, if you enable the stat table, you can see how much information your chart has. See, right now it's looking at 145 previous days, and that's how we're getting these levels on our chart right now. Okay, so how are you going to want to use these levels? Well, it's not just that simple that you're going to long or short whenever it hits a level. So even though this might work for you sometimes, this isn't a good strategy because it's not teaching you anything, right? Even though we can say, oh, we reached the bullish manipulation level, this is where a daily candle is going to be bullish, that doesn't necessarily mean we can long, because this value is a mean value. It's an average over time. So what it tells us basically is, on average, for a bullish distribution candle, price will reverse about at this level. But we need to consider the higher time frame. What is the daily candle telling us if we want this daily candle for this information to actually make any sense? Okay, guys? So let's say here is a good example. We can see that we created this wick below the open, and what you're going to notice is the levels are going to change if you change time frames. But why is that? See, I went on the daily, and now we have almost 600 days of data, even though on the hourly we had 100, right? And that's why the levels are going to change, because over time there's going to be more volatility in the markets. Your average candle is going to be bigger, so the levels are going to be different. But wait, I should go do not disturb. They keep messaging me. Okay. But here's what I like to do. I like to have a sample size of at least 60. I think 60, depending on your plan, you're going to see if I go on the, wait. Oh. I think the chart date is different depending on your ticker. Okay, yeah, here I have 72. So depending on your trading view plan, you're going to have a different amount of data, and that's the candles that you can look back. So how far back can you go? I'm on the premium plan, and that gives you 20,000 candles. So see, we're considering every single piece of information up till here where the information stops. If you have the free plan, it's going to be 5,000, which is like a quarter. The essential plan is going to be 10,000, which is half. So if you have the indicators, you can go on the chart right now and test this out and see how much information you have. But the bare minimum I would recommend using is at least 60, like I have here on the 5-minute chart. But you can use up till like 3 years of data here on the on the hourly. I get 942, right? So as you can see, what did price do at these levels? We could have shorted from here, we could have longed from here, we could have longed from here again. And this all depends on our daily PO3 candle. We can consider accumulation, manipulation, and distribution. So if price accumulates in between these levels and does not reach them, and then ends up liquidating them, and we get a manipulation phase, then we can consider longing from there. That's basically what the indicator tells you. It tells you, depending on the time frame you choose, where can price reverse. You can choose any time frame. Basically, you can do 4-hour, daily, weekly, even monthly. So here we can take a look at what the weekly looks like. So see, because the weekly candles are usually a lot bigger than the daily candles, and the levels are a lot farther from each other than they are on the daily. And that's because our weekly opened where? It opened right here. So you'll be getting new levels every single time. The time frame you select is going to change. So on the 4-hour, every time you get a new 4-hour candle, you're going to get new 4-hour levels. If you've got the daily, every single time a new day opens, you can use the daily. And with the daily one, what you can also do, if you'd like to try this out, on the first one, if you select the daily and you use the New York midnight open, the levels, they will be anchored to the New York midnight open here. So you can consider this level as well. And I tend to find that these are a little bit more accurate, especially on pairs like NQ. See, we only hit the manipulation level once from the New York midnight open, which was right here. And this would have been a good long opportunity. Now, does anyone have like any questions about this indicator?
Yes, I have one.
Yeah.
What's your recommendations? For example, if I use high time frame 1 hour for PD arrays etc. and 5-minute time frame for entry, then what is your recommendations to settings in the indicator? What time frame do I should use in the indicator?
So for me, what I would use, if you're looking at the hourly for context, is that what you're doing?
Yes. PD arrays etc. The trend. High time frame my high time frame is 1 hour and I use
Yeah,
5 minutes for my entries. What
and you
settings
used
do I
five.
should have?
I think you should use the daily candle because then you can consider the open, high, low, close, right? So for example, if you use daily levels and you're looking at 1-hour PD arrays, then what this level is going to tell you right here is that if you've got a PD array that aligns with this level, or like a liquidity pool, for example, with this hourly, or I mean, the daily manipulation level, and that aligns with like an hourly PD array that you would use, right? It gives you more confluence because what do you understand then? You understand that the daily candle, if you're an intraday trader, the daily candle is likely to make its low around here if it's going to be a bullish daily candle, right? If it distributes upwards, then the manipulation level will be close to this hourly PD array that you select, for example, right? And that price will distribute likely from somewhere here below the daily open, or like the New York midnight open. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yes. Totally. Yes.
So
Thank you.
so you enter on the 5 minute, but you're considering this level simply because you understand that the daily open low high close is going to be, the low is going to be printed somewhere around here, which is going to be below the open and at the average like mean manipulation level.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Do you guys have any other questions in the chat, or can I show you a different one?
Man, this is sick. I love it.
Let's get it.
Yeah.
Wait for Gotham Toolkit, man.
Yeah, wait for the macros and market maker
Yeah.
models.
This
Man,
guy is
just like
insane, man.
I just
just
want to sleep
barely
today.
starting.
I want to sleep tonight.
Max, I have one question. Maybe I didn't listen to it because I was like replying to the questions in chat, but
Yeah,
what's the difference between 1D plus D1 and 1D plus M1?
yeah. 1D plus M1 and one. What was your question again?
Like I saw in this indicator at TradingView, like that you have something like 1D plus D1. I'm gonna send it to chat. right
Okay,
now.
okay. So 1D plus D1 right here,
Yeah,
and then
this
1D
is
plus M1. So what this means is that this is the bullish manipulation level. This is going to be below the open. And what it's telling you is you have your open value here, and then you've got your distribution value here. This is for a daily candle. Your manipulation
okay,
value
M
would
is
be
for
here.
manipulation and D is for distribution.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay, thank
Yeah,
you.
M is
I
for
understand.
manipulation, D is for distribution.
Yeah, I thought that it's
And
like for a 1 minute chart and one day, but that's my bad. Okay.
yeah,
Yes.
so what the 1D means, that's the daily levels. That means daily levels. If you change it to like 4 hours, it's gonna say 240, which is 240 minutes, right? And then if you change it for like weekly, it should say weekly. One W. Yeah, see.
Okay, thank you so much.
So, for example, at the 1D plus D1, I look for shorts, and
Yeah,
yes, right?
yeah, you can look for shorts there. So here's how I usually do it. If you see that price is already distributing, so if price holds above the open and it just like keeps going upwards, at that point, I'm not really considering the manipulation level. I'm just considering the distribution case, because price is distributing, right? And then you can short at the distribution level. But also what you can do with the distribution is you can use it as a take profit level. So let's say you shorted from here, then your take profit can be up here, or just as like a low hanging fruit target, it could be at the opposing manipulation level. So that's what you can do.
Okay, okay.
You can either use it as like another understanding that usually when you have a candle, it's not going to distribute much farther than this like average distribution level, or you can use it to take profits there because you know it's probably going to reverse here and you're going to get like the, so you have the open low and then you have the high and the close is going to be below it. So price might not return to that level anymore.
Okay.
Run it.
You guys want to see another one?
Yeah, let's get it.
Oh yeah, here I'll show you
on,
session.
Sorry, on
Okay.
1D minus D1, I can look for longs.
Yeah, it's same thing.
Okay.
It's just
Okay.
opposite.
Same thing,
It's
just
like
opposite,
symmetrical. Yeah. Kusi.
I love
All
this
right.
fucking.
Yeah. What even is that? Okay. And here's another one that we have. I just showed you open, high, low, close projections. We also have session projections. And this is basically the same thing as the open, high, low, close. It's kind of similar, but what it shows you information for is it shows you for specific sessions, right? So you select a session that you want, and then it's going to show you the levels for that session. So for example, I'm looking, these are in New York time. So if I'm looking at the 8:30 open to like 11 time, then see here, it's gonna, oh wait, yeah, so it's gonna open. Wait, no, this is the 9:30. I'm going to update this one so you can change it to your own time zone. But I think it's right now it's the UTC -5. So you just have to play around that. So here you see the session opens, you get the New York open, and then you get the manipulation to this top manipulation level. And then it descends down to this one and just trades between these. And this one is a little bit more accurate than like using an hourly projection on the open, high, low, close projections because it's calculating it for a specific time, right? This one's going to be based on always the New York times, right? And if you use the hourly, for example, like right here, and just look at what it did, you're going to see that the range is a lot smaller. So it's going to be less accurate because it's based on a far bigger sample size, and it's based on every hourly candle rather than just a session. So it's basically the same as what I discussed prior, just you can use this for sessions and specific times that you want to trade. So you can use it for like Asia session or even like a 20-minute macro period from 9:40 to, or wait, 9:20 to 9:40, for example. You can get really crazy with it because it's accurate down to like the very minute. Yeah, see that right there? You get the open here, the open level, it goes down, and then up to the distribution level. Then another one we have is the session PO3. And you guys probably know like the PO3 indicator that you can use. Let's see. If we go back here. What this does is it gives you basically what is a higher time frame candle that you can see on the chart, the open, high, low, close levels. But instead of it being for a higher time frame candle, it's for a session candle. So you can imagine any session and you can display it on your chart as a candle. And what you can also do is, if you consider this wick as a manipulation, you can look at standard deviation levels for that wick. See, like right here. Or you can even look at the average statistical candle for any specific day. So you can choose Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, depending on what you're trading. And you can look at the data for that day to get like the average candle and see how price behaves on that specific day. So here, see the level it goes to? It's like the high is basically the exact same as the average. And you can use this as basically a confluence, and you can use this as the understanding that on this specific day, the candle you're going to get for the session is going to look something like this. And if you change the times around however you want, like you can use it for shorts, and you can also see like how big the manipulation wick is that's being created. You can change the times to like however you want, right? So what this one basically is, it's just a higher time frame candle, but also you get statistics on that candle, and you can also get like standard deviations for that candle. Basically anything you want. And you can use this for take profit levels, for trade ideas. If you see that the candle you're forming, if the manipulation is the same level as it was for this statistical one, well, and you've also got like a devil's mark where price has like traded below the open and you haven't gotten a manipulation on the other side yet. Well, what can you do? You can basically long it and see, use the devil's mark as like a take profit, or use the statistical resemblance that you have to take profit, you know? We also have weekly profiles, which what it's going to do is it's going to give you statistics on when you usually get the high of the week or the low of the week. So for NQ, for example, we can see that 20% of the time, the high or low of the week is made on a Sunday. Then 34% of the time, it's made on a Monday. See, and it gets like less common the further you go, right? And what do I mean by high / low of the week? Well, if you're looking at a weekly candle, your weekly candle is going to open, and then on a day of the week, it's going to go down and make the low of the week or the high of the week. And then after that point, it's going to distribute to the opposite side, right? And that's what the indicator is looking at. Although that's a very bad drawing. Let's try to do something better. So you get the open, then you're going to get the low of the week, and then you're going to get the high of the week. And then see if this one happens on Tuesday, it's going to be added to the data set. And you're going to see that, oh, well, 20% of the time it's made on a Tuesday. And you can basically use this for like swing ideas. If you want to swing an asset, then what's the best time going to be to enter like a long trade if you're long and you think that the weekly candle is going to close bullish? Well, then it would be a Monday, because 34% of the time it's a Monday that sets the low of the week. And then we can even look at some other assets. For example, gold. And we can see that it changes. For example, like on the Sunday open, gold is going to make the high or low of the week way more often than it's going to be doing it at any other time, right? Than Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Then we can look at silver or any Forex pairs. And what this goes to show you basically is that it's going to change depending on the asset, and your ideas are going to slightly change depending on the asset that you're trading, whether you want to like long or short it. Then you're going to consider the time and which day you are in the week to actually get a proper swing trade in. For example, even last week I was considering, I was longing euro, and I didn't really consider the time we were in. It was a Tuesday, and that's when the low of the week is made, like 20% of the time. But what can you see? It was made on Monday. And then the idea was that since the low of the week was already made, there was a 20% or about a 30% chance that it was made. Then what is Tuesday likely gonna do? It's probably gonna continue. And I really trimmed this one way early, as you can see here, even though we caught the long. Does anyone want me to like discuss a different one or explain it further?
If you have some fuel, we can go to the next one.
These are like all of them for now, but we're gonna be adding more soon. I think we can even get a new indicator this week. But I wanted to discuss these four for now.
I would
And
like
these
to
are the
ask
ones. Oh,
a
sorry.
question again about the wait, which one was this? It was like projections, yeah?
Yeah.
And then you said wait, so it's not always like when we have a midnight open and the upper line is 1D minus M1, for example.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not always 1D minus M1, right? It can be something different. Or it's always the same.
Well, here's how it's gonna be, right? You have the open level, and it's always
Yeah.
going to be this way. You're gonna have
Okay.
the open level, and then first, if the open level, it's gonna look like this on my chart, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is the open for the time frame. Then above the open level, how can I label this? This one's always going to be your time frame minus M1, because this is the first one. You can have two time frames on at a time. So you can have like the weekly, for example, and the daily.
Okay. But what does it mean to M1? What is like the manipulation or what?
Well, what the M means is just manipulation, and M, the one, what it means is that it's the first time frame that you have selected. So if you're going to have the second time frame selected, it's going to say M2. So for the weekly, see, it's minus M2. Or wait,
alright,
no,
alright.
this one would be the minus M1. And then the one above this will always be the time frame plus the, and then there's going to be the number. I guess I shouldn't say that it's always going to be the M1. But depending on the time frame you're on, it's always going to be like this. It's time frame plus D1, time frame minus M1, and then this is going to be the open, and then you're going to have the TF plus M, and then you're going to have
Okay,
the TF minus D.
And it doesn't matter if we hit first the upper line or down line, it's always we should like always consider this as a manipulation.
You shouldn't always consider it as a manipulation. Well, what it's always going to mean is that it's the average manipulation, but that doesn't mean it's always going to be where it is.
Yeah, like
Because
of course we have to check the price action and everything
Yeah.
as a confirmations.
Yeah, because for example, you're gonna have like days where it's gonna look like this, and then you're gonna have days where it looks like this and it goes like a bit further up. And then you're gonna have days where it goes below it and it's not gonna reach that level. And then you're gonna have days where it goes exactly to that level. And basically what you're gonna get is you're just gonna get this average. But what's important to like recognize is that it's always looking at a specific type of candle. It's not gonna really consider days where you have this and it's just gonna be consolidating. So if you're trading a day like this, or if you're trading a day where there's like literally no manipulation, it's not going to consider that because these are pretty rare cases. So if you're trying to trade a day like that where you're either consolidating in between both of these levels and there isn't really a high of the day made, then these levels, they don't really mean that much because it's looking at a specific type of candle where you're distributing. Because if you think about it, you'll have candles that look like this on the daily, for example. And it's just like a very small body. It doesn't really distribute into any direction. And then you're going to have candles like this, which actually distribute a lot. And the indicator, it doesn't really look at candles like this one. This is not good to trade. I wouldn't want trading like the 5-second inside daily candle like this. They was reacting off of like the peer on the daily that you can to like strip. And this is the type of candle I want to be looking at and considering for like manipulation distribution levels. Not the former one, which is like a collagen one. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure. Just wanted to
I'll be making a video like this kind of stuff so that you don't have to, you know.
And you said that the minimum of the days you recommend is how many?
Okay, I would try to use at least like 60.
At least
So
60.
for me, the
Okay.
5-minute is 70 here. But if we look at the 1-minute, for example, this is like 2 weeks of data. It's still not bad, but it's a lot worse. And then for me, if I'm using like the 15-second chart, then this is just like 3. And this does not mean anything. I would not use this at all.
Okay.
So I try to do, if you can get 2 weeks, that's all right. But I'd say enable the stat table, this little checkbox right here. And then
Yeah, I have it.
look at the time frame. And if the time frame says that it's above like 60 days, which is 2 months, so you'd be looking at the past 2 months of data, and you have all of this information, as I said here, like every single one of these levels is considered, then I'd say that's pretty accurate already. But if you have like 3 days, less than a week, then that's a lot worse. Because you don't really have anything that's statistically significant. Like you can't say anything when you just have 3 days of information, you know?
Yeah, of course. That makes sense.
So, for example, minus manipulation level can work as sort of resistance, or shouldn't I look at it like this?
Yeah, like look, okay, look right here. So we've got 70 days here. Here's the distribution. Here's like if you're looking at this like a resistance level, and you
Where
short
do
from
you
here.
put how many days?
It's in the table. So if you click on this, if you click on the settings,
Okay.
then scroll down, it says table.
Yes, I know,
You,
but I
yeah,
have shown.
it's right here. It's next to the 1 day
Okay, okay.
where it says 70. So you have the 1D and then it says 70. That's the amount of days that you're looking at.
Okay.
And one more question about the alerts. It's like enough to just check it in the settings and it's gonna work by itself?
No. If you want to set the alerts, you have to first what you do is you set the alert that you want to be working. So let's say I want to long. I'm gonna select the plus manipulation because that's the one that's below the open. And then let's say I also want to take profit at the upper level right here. Then I would also click the plus distribution level. And then what I do is hold on. I think it's
You need
what's
to
the
click
alert?
3 dots, no? That's
Oh
how it
yeah,
works?
yeah. You add alert on the projections, right?
Yeah.
And then it's gonna, with this setting, any alert function call. And then once you create the alert, it's what TradingView does it takes a snapshot of the indicator and like of all the settings it has right now. And then whenever an alert function is called, which is basically something I coded in, that works like based on the ones you tick, right? When any of these is called, it's gonna give you an alert to your phone or to your app or to an email, depending on your TradingView alert settings. So you actually have to add the alert within TradingView, not just click them.
Okay. But like, do I have to update it every day, like after midnight, so it has the new projections, or how does it work?
Yeah, I think you'll have to add a new alert every day because, as I said, it takes a snapshot of the indicator, and the indicator is only going to
Mhm.
have the levels for the current date. So once the new
Yeah,
day
that
starts, it's going to have new levels, and you're going to want to take like a new snapshot using the alert.
yeah, exactly. That's why I asked. I wanted to be sure.
I
Okay,
will send something on chat. See, this is euro dollar 1 hour time
Yeah.
frame, and for example here, this 1D plus M1, so it's plus manipulation, can
Yeah.
like work as my resistance as well. And then if I take a short from here, the potential target is minus distribution, right?
If you take it at the plus someone.
Yes, plus M1 short. It can
Okay.
work as resistance.
Okay. So the way I think about it is usually when a level is crossed, so price goes above the level and it's like trading far above it, then the level itself doesn't really matter to me anymore. I could
Okay.
still so I wouldn't use it as a resistance because
We
if
already
it
went through it, right?
yeah, if it trades under it, right?
Mhm.
I there's really nothing about like what the indicator is actually doing that would like let you short from this level. Like you can obviously do that yourself, but I wouldn't use like the indicator as a justification for it because even though it like went under the level, that what that just means to me is that this level is no longer valid. Like so let's say when the date opens, for me, both manipulation levels are possibly valid, but once it hits like the distribution level above a manipulation level, then I'm not really looking at the manipulation level anymore.
Okay.
The lo-
Okay. Thank you.
Because we already had like a distribution target, you know.
Okay. Okay.
Are there more questions in the chat? It's all Polish, so I don't really know what's going on.
Then I guess we will have to make a group Polish lessons for you and
Yeah,
for
Polish.
Kane.
Oh, Zenith's here. on BTC? Yeah, sure. Oh, here I gave you guys my prediction. So which ones do you want to look at? Here, I'll show you guys the daily and the weekly. Yeah, see this? I was looking to consider longs from the weekly manipulation level on Bitcoin from about the open. So as you can see, as long as we hold these lows here, I'll still be long. But if we look at the weekly levels, let's see how much data we have. So we have about half a year of data. And this is good because think about how far back you're actually considering. I know I said that you should probably look at 60, but that was for the daily because you have a lot of days in the year, right? You have 365 days. But when you're looking at weekly levels, you only have 52 weeks in a year. And the farther back you go, right? Let's say I want to consider the past 10 years on Bitcoin. Then what are the levels going to be? It's going to be considering all these tiny weekly candles over here that really didn't do that much. And let's just see how it's going to compare on like the current compared to like the current levels for the past half year where we actually were pushing up and we had like a lot more volume in the market and volatility, where the weekly candles are a lot bigger compared to the ones they were before. Actually, it's not that big of a difference that I thought. Well, what? I was on the 15-minute. Actually, they're pretty similar. That's surprising. What did you want to see about BTC that I said? That you said in the chat? Just how they work in general. It's gonna be about the same for every single asset, except some assets. I'd say probably altcoins. They just when they pump, it's not really comparative to like what price action was before. But even on BTC, see here you have the open. It goes below the open to the manipulation level, and then up to the distribution. And then here it doesn't quite reach it. You have the open, and as soon as it opens, you get this push down. I already explained how the indicator worked like previously. There's going to be a video that you can watch to understand it. But just quickly, what it does is it looks at higher time frame candles and basically their wicks to calculate like manipulation and distribution levels. Oh wait, there's new yeet. That's nice. I was just here to explain my indicators, but I'd say I'm overall still long on Bitcoin. Like just based on the indicator, if we start getting this kind of price action where it's like laddering up, that's gonna be strong.
If someone is already considering the payment, now you got free lesson from Max. Then
Yeah, free lessons,
la-
guys.
last week from Kusi, his model. This
Wait,
week
he
Max.
made one?
Yeah, Kusi did make last week. He showed
Oh, I think I
us
missed it.
one of his models on Friday.
Okay. That's cool. You guys want a sneak peek of the Gotham toolkit?
Yeah,
Let's-
why
Yeah.
not?
Of
Yes,
course.
sir. Let's get it. Like
Uh,
original consolidation in the
And
making.
now
But
Kusi
after
will
that,
type on chat by VIPA.
Wait, I don't want to. I don't want to leak the code.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, that's the sauce, man. By VIPa. Dzięki wszystkim, kurwa. No dzięki wszystkim. Ja jestem tak rozjebany, ja siedzę tak cicho, bo oni tu prowadzą i są ludzie, którzy mi chcą tu pomóc z tym wszystkim. Kurwa, no dzięki, kochani. No co, zrobimy taki rozpierdol.
By VIPa to będzie mod do tego.